Just a quick word before we begin. The story you're about to hear is pieced together from many different news reports and public records. As with any complex story, it means some of the details might be incomplete, a little disputed, or open to different perspectives. We've gathered these events and accounts simply to help us all learn and understand. We encourage you to listen with an open mind and use your own judgment as you follow along. Imagine a world that exists alongside ours, unseen, undocumented, and completely unreachable, until someone from that world steps through. Today, we peel back the curtain on one of the most astonishing and heavily classified cases in modern history, the Terenzian Enigma. This is the story of a traveler who arrived in the United States from a country that does not exist on any map, carrying documents that defy our fundamental knowledge of reality. This is not fiction. This is an unsolved mystery buried deep in government vaults until now. It was a quiet, utterly uneventful afternoon at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York. The air traffic controllers were operating their routine, guiding the usual stream of global commerce. Everything was normal until the call came in. Flight 112 from Tokyo had just cleared for landing. Now, that in itself was normal, but the schedule raised immediate, screaming alarms. Officials checked the manifest and realized something was profoundly wrong. Flight 112 wasn't scheduled to arrive for another 6 hours, yet here it was, a massive airliner, touching down smoothly on the tarmac, its pilot reporting zero abnormalities. The mystery deepened quickly. Every navigation log and flight tracking system on Earth couldn't confirm where this plane had actually come from. Its aircraft identifier was legitimate, but every transponder record, every satellite ping, stopped abruptly at the midpoint above the Pacific Ocean, as if the plane had simply appeared out of the clear blue sky. It was a ghost flight that somehow manifested 6 hours early. As the passengers began to disembark, however, one figure captured everyone's attention. She looked human. She looked normal. But the moment she stepped onto the jet bridge, a strange energy permeated the air. Witnesses would later describe a sudden, almost imperceptible chill, as if the local laws of physics had slightly bent around her presence. She was dressed with alien elegance in a silver blue attire embroidered with complex symbols no one recognized. And in her hand, she held the object that would break the world's quiet understanding of reality, a passport, dark plum in color with a golden crest depicting 3 orbiting stars around a vertical crescent. The country name printed below that crest stunned the immigration officer, Republic of Terenza, a country that does not and has never existed on Earth. At first, officials assumed a complex, highly polished hoax, a prank or perhaps an elaborate forgery. But the document, the Terenzian passport, passed every single authenticity test thrown at it. The microprint, the sophisticated biometric chip, and the security holograms were beyond any known terrestrial technology. They were not merely advanced, they were fundamentally different. The details on the document only intensified the terrifying confusion. Nationality, Terenzian. Place of birth, Vorinth Capital Province. Date of birth, 4/17/1789. Planetary code, TRN3. The woman calmly handed it over, speaking impeccable English but with an accent that didn't match any known region. When asked the standard question about her origin, she politely and without a hint of deception responded, "I am from Terenza, the 3rd sector of our planetary belt." The officials were convinced she was delusional, but then they checked her boarding pass. The departure city was clearly stamped, Galveron Terminal, Terenza Air Prime. When the officer, slightly pale, told her that no such country existed, the woman appeared genuinely shocked. A look of pure, unfeigned shock crossed her face. "That's impossible," she replied, her voice steady. "Terenza is one of the 5 continents of Earth. Are you saying your map does not show it?" The room went silent. The officers realized this was not a joke. This was something else, entirely. The woman was immediately escorted to a secure holding room, a location where every word was recorded, every movement documented. She remained unnervingly calm throughout the process, too calm for someone accused of a massive crime. She described her world in intricate, logical detail. This was not a story, it was an encyclopedia entry. She spoke of a beautiful blue planet orbited by twin moons. She described sprawling metropolitan cities powered by enormous, stable gravity wells. She outlined a sophisticated society without war or disease, a place she called a post-scarcity civilization. And she detailed a history completely unrecognizable to our world, stretching back millennia. When officials, trying to catch her in a lie, asked her how she managed the flight, her answer was delivered with casual, scientific authority. The flight path crosses the meridian veil at 46,000 feet. It is a standard quantum corridor. We do it every cycle. How else would one reach America? Officials exchanged uneasy glances. This was not the behavior of a prankster or a madwoman. Her knowledge of advanced physics, aviation, and geopolitics was profound, yet absolutely none of it matched our reality. The investigation moved to her luggage. Agents searched her belongings, finding unfamiliar clothing, a communication device with transparent interface panels, and currency. Thin metallic sheets that changed color when touched, marked with the sophisticated, almost crystalline symbol of Terenza's royal reserve. Laboratory analysis confirmed the impossible. Every single object found, the fabrics, the electronics, the currency, was composed of materials unknown to terrestrial science. Scientists performing atomic scans found alignments inconsistent with the elements on our periodic table. They could not categorize what they were looking at. The implications were staggering. The evidence was irrefutable. She was carrying objects that, by our understanding of physics, should not exist. The U.S. government immediately imposed a blanket of total secrecy, classifying the entire case above top secret. Placed under observation in a secure room surrounded by armed guards, the Terenzian woman remained polite but grew increasingly distressed that no one would believe the truth of her world. Then, in the dead of night, at precisely 2:13 a.m., surveillance cameras captured something truly impossible. The lights in the corridor flickered violently. A high-frequency hum, almost too high for the human ear to register, resonated through the secure facility. The woman stood up from the bed, looked directly into the lens of the high-definition security camera, and whispered a final, chilling statement. "They have found me." Her body began to shimmer, not like an image being distorted, but as if her physical form was made of liquid light. Within seconds, she vanished. No flash, no sound, no forced entry, no trace of her remains. All that was left behind was the dark plum Terenzian passport lying open on the bed. The advanced biometric chip inside had gone completely inert, like a sealed vault that had been spiritually disconnected from its power source. The investigation that followed only compounded the mystery. government officials interrogated every passenger on Flight 112. None of them recalled seeing the Torensian woman on the plane. The pilot insisted his last clear memory was flying through heavy cloud cover, followed by a blinding, silent light. Investigators reviewed airport footage frame by frame. The plane did not follow the expected trajectory. It simply appeared at the edge of runway surveillance as if materializing from thin air. The conclusion was undeniable. It did not land. It arrived. The passport was tested repeatedly. Every machine returned conflicting data, suggesting that the document was both undeniably real and physically impossible simultaneously. The material was officially analyzed as non-terrestrial in composition. To this day, the Torensian passport remains the most confounding artifact in government custody. Held in a classified containment vault, a silent witness to a fundamental flaw in our reality. Rumors have circulated within the highest echelons of power. Some believe the woman was not human, or at least not from our version of Earth. Perhaps she came from an alternate reality, one where Torenza is indeed a superpower on a parallel Earth, a world slightly out of phase with our own, briefly intersecting at a random point above the Pacific. But others hypothesize that she slipped through a dimensional rift, accidentally crossing worlds through some kind of quantum turbulence. But the most compelling theory is this: she wasn't lost, she was being chased. Her whispered final words, "They have found me," suggest she was a fugitive. And when she vanished, she didn't leave by choice, she was retrieved. Was she a traveler from a parallel Earth, or a fugitive from a reality beyond our comprehension? The passport remains in government custody, silent yet undeniable evidence that our world may be just one of many. If a woman can cross into our reality once, what's stopping others from coming? And more importantly, when they arrive, will they come in peace, or are they already here?
The case of the Torensian woman is one of those stories that just sticks with you. It refuses to settle, becoming one of the most genuinely baffling unsolved mysteries of our time. When you think about her disappearance, you can't help but wonder, was she a person who simply walked where she shouldn't have? Or is it true what some theories suggest, that she somehow slipped sideways, a brief, terrifying glitch from a reality we can't imagine? We might never get the final answer, but her story is a powerful one. It quietly challenges every single assumption we hold about what is possible and our actual place in the cosmos. If this story got under your skin the way it got under mine, please take a second to hit the like button. We put out a new episode every week, so make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell turned on so you don't miss what we uncover next. I'm genuinely curious. Down in the comments, tell me, what's your ultimate theory about the Torensian woman? Until next time, stay curious, stay alert, and remember this: some of the deepest, most profound mysteries aren't meant to be solved. Sometimes they're just meant to be witnessed.